Hello, this is the main lecture. Welcome to it. We're using OBS and Microsoft PowerPoint. Not PowerPoint, it's the Google Forms, but it will work all the same. This week we're going to talk a bit about predictable stress patterns and how we can use it and how we can identify it, how we can remember it as well. But before we get too far ahead, cut that out. That goes in introduction. Factors affecting stress patterns. So stress in English words are affected by a lot of different things, by syllable weight, word category, word formation, spelling pattern. But there's no 100% rule on where stress goes. It's not a key factor in a language like it is in Czech, for example. In Czech, it's much more regimented in how it's made. In English, it's a much more hodgepodge, things that have been made up over the centuries and in thousands of years. So it's something that's difficult. There's no rule. We just got to learn how things are. So we're going to go over it a bit. Syllable weight, which I believe in Professor Pock's lecture you'll go over quite a bit more. Syllable weight, we have syllables in every language, and we have syllable weight. And that depends on the rhyme constituent. Remember, the rhyme of a syllable is the nucleus and the coda. So the middle part and the optional third part. If you remember, there's onset, nucleus, and coda of a syllable, and the onset and the coda, you don't have to have those, but you must have a nucleus. You must have the central vowel, of course. So a rhyme is the nucleus plus the coda, or just the nucleus. It's the second half, the second part of a syllable. If the rhyme consists of a long vowel sound or a diphthong, followed by some consonants, or sometimes not, we call that a strong cluster. So that's a heavy syllable. It's got some weight. It's got a lot of stuff in it. If the rhyme is a short vowel followed by 0 or 1 consonant, it's a weak cluster. It's a light syllable. That's a bit confusing, admittedly. It's almost like they designed it that way. But let's take a look. So sooner, sooner, sooner. You hear the ooh, 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 sooner. The first syllable is heavy because it contains a long vowel. The ooh, sooner. And the second syllable is light. The sooner, ner, sooner, sooner. And where does the stress go? Sooner, sooner. It goes on the first. Loudest, loudest, loudest. So we see that the ow, that's a diphthong. We'll get into more detail about what diphthongs are, but it's like 2 vowel sounds put together kind of thing. Ow, loud, and then dest. Now, second syllable is also heavy because it's a short vowel followed by more than 1 consonant. We have the est, like est, loudest. So in this case, loudest, both syllables are heavy syllables. And here's an example. Fish, fish, fish. This is a light syllable because the vowel, the I is short, and we have sh sound. So only 1 consonant. If we make it into fished, then it becomes a heavy syllable. So heavy syllables take precedent over light syllables in how we assign lexical stress or just stress. For our purposes, we're just going to use the phrase stress or word stress. So heavy syllables are totally a thing. They're the longer syllables, if you were. Word category. We talked about this last week. We're talking about how different types of words have different stresses. And if we do it by the main categories of nouns, adjectives, and verbs, So most two-syllable nouns and adjectives have the stress on the first syllable. If you remember, present, export, happy, clever. And most verbs have their stress on the second syllable. Present, export, words like that. That one most review, but it's important to go over. Then word formations and spelling. This is kind of new. We have affixes and compound words and phrasal nouns and verbs, which we may not get into, but affixes and compounds we will. Also, how a word is spelled, like with the other words spelled like, number words, words like that, it changes our stress. So affixes. We have two kinds of affixes, prefixes or prefix, and suffix. So prefix or prefix, if you remember, these are the little bits that we put on the front of the word to change its meaning. So when we add a prefix like dis, re, mis, ex, in, there's lots of prefixes. The stress is not changed. So if we have the base form word inform, and we put the prefix dis as in to not. So disinform. So inform, disinform. The stress is unchanged. We have moral, immoral. The stress is unchanged. Possible, impossible. Now, we'll get into this a bit more, but later on. But conscious choice in speech also plays a large role in stress. So people, in this case with the word, if you're being conversational, you're having an argument with something about what you can or cannot do, then you might place stress on the im part, saying that it's not possible. So instead of just impossible, you be that is impossible. Place stress there to place emphasis, and that's a conscious choice that we'll make. All right. Then for suffixes, if prefixes go on the front of words, suffixes go on the end of words. Suffixes go on the end of words. So some suffixes do not change the place of the stress, like ship, less, in. So membership, power, powerless, powerless. The stress is on the first. Depending, or depending. However you rising intonation or falling intonation, both are okay. But there are also non-neutral suffixes. You'll need to make sure you check page 51 and 52 in your book, because there's a lot more there. But I didn't want to make a whole list for this class, for this lecture. Some suffixes do change the placement of stress, though, and some of them move the stress to the syllable before the suffix, like in, og, iti, and others move the stress to the final syllable, like and that's because of French, the French influence on English. So, for example, million, millionaire. That's a French. That's French. It's French based, so they're taking it there. But like say, echo, ecology, bio, biology. You can see there how the suffix effect changes the stress. Compound words, these are fairly straightforward. Compound words, of course, when we take two words, mash them together to make it into a new word, nice and easy. Compound nouns, stress is placed on the first syllable, regardless of the composition of the compound, whether it's a noun like earring, or adjective noun like greenhouse. We place stress on the first part, the first syllable. However, compound adjectives and verbs, stress is placed on the second element, unless there's a noun in that compound. And we can see some examples down here. Second hand, we see the hand makes stress. Handwrite, again, we have a noun in here, so that takes a stress. Ready-made, ready-made, that's on the second. Double click, and see here, we see here, double click, this is the verb to click. So that's the double click sound. All right, I need to go back and make sure I explain this again. So second hand, these are, second hand and handwrite, of course, are adjective and a verb. We're showing that how, because we have the noun inside the compound word, the noun part gets the stress. All right, folks, just a quick interlude real fast about other kinds of word stress patterns. We have noun-verb stress change, of course. We mentioned this before. It's good to go over again. This is the compound where we have, it's phrasal. We have check out, the noun, and check out, the checkout counter, and then also to check out, the verb, check out, check out, check out, check out, check out, check out. Difference between noun and verb. And this happens with lots of different words. The noun conduct and conduct, 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 conduct. Object, object. Present, present. Workout, workout. Something that's quite important is number stress change. And this is really important with pronunciation, hearing. Native speakers regularly have problems hearing the difference between 13 and 30. But if you don't place enough stress on 13, 13, 13, 13, if it's unstressed, it's 13, 13, 13, 13. And that n, that n sound can be lost very easily. So 13, 30, 13, 30, 13, 30, 14, 40, 14, 40, 14, 40, 15, 15, 15, 50, 15, 50. That's a really key thing with numbers, because that's a huge area where people have lots of misunderstanding, a lot of miscommunication with numbers. And I'm talking about native English speakers, not let alone non-native English speakers. Another thing to be aware of is the ATE 8 endings. Verbs ending with ATE are pronounced as 8. Nouns, adjectives, and adverbs, though, pronounced as it. And we can see this. I will graduate next year. I am a graduate. Same spelling, different sounds, though. I will graduate next year. I am a graduate. I will graduate, 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 graduate. Can I have an estimate? Can I have an estimate? Can you estimate the cost? Estimate, 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 estimate. You might have this already correct, in that you view the noun and the verb as entirely separate words, and you based on the context, you know if it's a noun or a verb. But there is, it's something to be aware of, and this pronunciation and change comes from stress. All right. Hello everyone. This is a short video about making videos and what we can do to help make our videos better and how they can look better and sound better. Right now I'm talking to you with this camera, But I have this camera set up as well, so you can see how things look differently. And I've got a microphone, but both cameras have microphones as well. So I have 3 recordings going on right now. And we're going to compare each one. How it looks, how it sounds, how the different lighting setups help make things look and sound and feel different. So let's take a brief overview. Now, things to consider. Camera angle. What does the camera see? Now, my main camera, you see my face, you see the back of my chair, you see the general background. But with the GoPro, what do you see? You're looking down on me, and you see all the clutter around me. You see, here's a Monster Energy. Oh, there's still some left. There's a Monster Energy drink here. So, how you place your camera matters a lot. And here are some other examples I filmed with my cell phone and my iPad.
Versus this. This looks like something.
You can see here how it looks. Another thing to bear in mind. Where are you filming? Now, you can see my backdrop here is I'm in a dark room. But if I were to film in front of the window, what would you see? And you can see that here. The window in the back, but light off, we can't see very well at all. Let's talk about lighting. Now, I believe on the GoPro, you can see I use a ring light as my main source of light. It provides nice, even lighting. But what if we were to turn that off and just use the monitor? How does that look? Not very good. So let's bring in some natural light. How does that look? Now, it's looking better. This camera is making it look better, and the GoPro. But how does my face look? Now, the right side of my face is much more in shadow, obviously. It's natural light. We bring that back down and make it halfway. It looks different. It feels different. If we turn on the ceiling light, you can see here, it feels different. And there's a lot of light coming in off my hair. And that mixed with the light from the sun, everything looks a bit different. And we mix that in with the ring light. I look tired. I look a bit sick. I don't look that good. Now, I don't expect you to get a ring light, but I want us to see how things look and feel. This ring light has different settings. This is the regular setting, the white light. And that's how it looks. It's like a bright fluorescent light in my face. It has blue, which looks like a monitor, and very warm light. I like the warm light. I think it looks better for my skin, especially if it's the only source of light, the main source of light. That's how it looks. I think it looks a lot better this way than it does with the other settings. But if you play with your lights, play with and try to figure out what's the best way for you to look, and what looks best for you, you can see and experiment and figure out what's best for you. There's different settings, of course, as well. Now, let's talk about sound. Sound is important. I have 3 recording devices right now, but I'm really just going to use one, the one with the condenser microphone, which you can see. So I'm talking into this. This has a pop filter for those B and P things. How does it sound with just the big camera, the on-camera microphone? Let's give a listen right now. So make sure that when we're talking very clearly with radishes and watermelons and all those wonderful things. Radishes and watermelons, radishes, watermelon, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish. That's with the DSLR microphone. But what did the GoPro pick up on that? And we can hear the difference. We can hear how it sounds. So So make sure that when we're talking very clearly with radishes and watermelons and all those wonderful things. Radishes and watermelons, radishes, watermelon, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish. Now, one option that I offered to you was using a cell phone to record your audio separately, to use it like a microphone. So let's try this again. Let's compare the cell phone with the different microphones. Watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon. Hello, hello. Pa 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 booey, pa 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 booey, pa 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 booey. Watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon. Hello, hello. Pa 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 booey, pa 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 booey, pa pa pa. Watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon. Hello, hello. Pa 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 booey. Watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon, watermelon, radish, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, watermelon, radish, radish, watermelon. Hello, hello. Pa 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 booey, pa 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 booey, pa pa pa. Editing. Editing can help you go from looking like an absolute idiot who's angry and stupid to looking like you know what you're talking about. Just cutting out your mistakes. That's the wonderful thing about video. You might have seen this, if you think about YouTubers. You see YouTubers when they try to go on Twitch and stream, they're not the same. They're not as funny because streaming is a different skill. And so is editing. If you need to edit, and you should edit out your mistakes or your, unfortunate sounds like that. You need to make things better. So when we make videos, especially video lessons, you can try multiple takes. If you have difficulty saying something, try again and try again and try again until you're happy with one of them. And then you can choose, the good ones and then use them. If you're making a 15-minute video, then that's a lot of effort. If you're making a 30-second video, yes, you can do that. Perfectly good, perfectly normal, all those wonderful things. It's great. So here are some examples. Oh, actually, here's one short example of a testimonial I did for a company that makes headphone pads and things like that. Anyways, I did that. Here is the final version. The Wicked Cushion earpad covers are a great option if you're like me and you sweat a lot. They come off real easy and they pop on real easy as well. They clean with the... It's not very good, but that's okay. Here's the stuff I cut out. The earpad covers by Wicked Cushion are a real option for you if you're like me and you sweat a lot, but you still like listening. You sweat a lot. The Wicked Cushion earpad covers. Yeah. That happens. So things. Be aware also of sound, how you're recording. Be aware of background noise. What is the microphone picking up? Now, let me just do something real fast and see if it comes in. So I've opened the window I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. There's cars outside. There's wind. All those things making noise. And that background noise can be annoying for the audience. So try to make it easy for your audience to hear you. All right. Those are some general tips to help us make some videos. In the assignment online, I gave you some free software, open source software that you can use for free. So please take a look and play with those, start playing with them, and hopefully this has been helpful for you, just to provide examples of what can look good and what cannot. All right, thank you.